Hello again everyone, and welcome back to Skyblock News. I'm your host Derailious, and today we're back on the Alpha Network in order to showcase some new changes, notably to the Midas sword. Before we begin here, I just want to say, thank you guys so much for all the support recently, and if you're new here, if you could like and subscribe down below, that really would mean a lot as we are rapidly approaching 70k. Without any further ado though, let's launch right into this. So we're back on the forums, and they have a bunch of changes here, notably to the Midas sword. In terms of base stats, the sword has gone from 150 to 170 damage, and the greed ability has gone from 175 to 225 max damage and strength. This is for the fragged version of the sword only. The cost to obtain the max damage and strength is still the same, it's just the scaling that has been buffed. It's also notable that upgrade stars now scale with the greed ability. They are aware of an issue on Alpha in which the Gilded, Reforged, and Hot Potato books are also scaling based on upgrade stars. This is unintentional behavior and means that the weapon is slightly overtuned. However, they state that these changes mean that the Midas sword is approximately 1 to 2% better than the Dark Claymore with a Golden Dragon equipped. I think that this is pretty interesting. Making the Midas sword on par with, or even slightly better than the Dark Claymore, is a pretty important change, and I think it makes sense considering that the Midas sword has certain benefits and weaknesses that the Dark Claymore doesn't. For example, swing range, which is different on both swords. Next up, we have a bunch of changes, including some to the zombie shooting minigame. Lamps now give plus 100 points and a 1.2x points boost for 6 seconds upon getting hit, making them way more important for the game as a whole. They've also removed accuracy from the scoreboard. Now, hovering over your total kills in the reward summary shows your total accuracy. They've added a particle indicator when a zombie is 1.5 seconds away from despawning or 30 ticks away, which is pretty nice. And they also wear a corresponding chest plate in order to distinguish their rarity. They've also reduced the number of zombie kills you need in a single match from 75 to 60 for a specific carnival goal. A lot of people were having issues with this one. I'm really glad they made this change. In terms of other changes, there is a lot here. Notably, they've made it so that the carnival now has a zone discovery message in order to improve player guidance. They've also updated the bee mass item lore to mention that it boosts only the bee pet's base stats and not the perk stats. This is a visual change, by the way, it was already the functionality. They've added further clarification to the Golden Bounties item lore, they've adjusted the warp coordinates of warp stonks, and as a pretty big change, Jerry's Perkpocalypse rotation no longer includes Diaz. This makes sense, the auction lasts for 10 hours, and the perks at Jerry only last for 6. You can do the math on that one, you're not getting any stonks, so they decided to remove Diaz. Very cool. They've also made it so that music now starts instantly when a carnival minigame begins, they made the Ravenous Rhino require only 50 visitors served to unlock, and they've updated the reward summary of carnival minigames to include the number of tokens won. Very, very good. Lastly, in terms of bug fixes, they've made it so that the Daedalus axe now counts for the Crown of Avarice, so you can't just get free coins from that. They fixed the coins message not showing up when killing goblins while wearing a Crown of Avarice, and they've also fixed Frostwalker being able to be utilized in the carnival area, allowing players to grief the Catch a Fish minigame. Thank God. Overall, while this isn't the biggest change in the world, it is interesting to see the Dark Claymore have competition in the form of the Midas sword now. I imagine it's not going to do too much to either item's price, it's still going to require you to spend a lot of money on the Midas sword, and I doubt Dark Claymore is going to be useless because it has other benefits, but the fact that it has competition at all is really cool. I would love to hear your thoughts about that, and about also Diaz not being part of Jerry anymore. It totally makes sense to me, but obviously if you disagree, feel free to leave your thoughts down below. At the end of the day though, my name's Derailious, thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and look to the future fellas, I'll see you then.